Hi, welcome to the session. This is tauqir server, and I'm working as a senior QA automation consultant at Modest Grade. My overall experience is around 16 years. After spending 16 years in the QA industry, I am totally QA positive, and it's like in my blood. Let's come to the topic. First of all, let me share my screen. Just give me a sec. Yeah, I hope you guys can see my screen. So in this session, we will talk about effortless mobile automation solution that will enable you to test the mobile web and native app across like different platforms with totally effortless test case writing approach. Before diving into the solution detail, I would like to highlight some aspects like around the test automation world. So test automation, as we all know, is a dynamic field that continuously evolves with advancement in technology and the software development practices. The first point is about like the challenges of traditional test automation. So it basically involves a steep learning curve, significant time investment, and maintenance overhead, obviously, to keep test scripts updated and functional. So which consumes a lot of resources, time, effort, energy, and many more things. The next thing is like I would like to discuss about the key benefits of this effortless or codeless test automation. So we need like an easy solution for rapid automation mobile test. Obviously, their compatibility and maintainability make everything hassle-free whenever we pick any template or the boilerplate. And there are a ton of benefits that evolves around this boilerplate, like accessibility, speed, collaboration, coverage, scalability, like adaptive to changes like testing needs and project sizes thing. And obviously the cost effectiveness that reduces like reliance on skilled developer and lower maintenance cost. And how codeless automation accelerate the QA process. So this is like a very key benefit. Like why we need that boilerplate, how this will add the values into our existing QA processes. So the codeless like automation revolutionized the QA process by dramatically accelerating the test creation, test execution, and obviously the maintenance part. And the tester can like softly generate automated tests without the need for any like intricate scripting, and significantly reducing the time and effort that usually traditionally required. And furthermore, the test execution like provides efficient scheduling and prioritization options, a lot of, and enabling testers to run comprehensive test suites with a very easy way. The next point is like, why do we need that boilerplate? So basically, the boilerplate is a template, as we know, that can be reused in like multiple contexts using the test automation with a very little and no changes. Imagine a QA engineer who previously wrote some code for the particular project and now wants to reuse it as part of testing for another application or project. They will like have to find the particular code and then use it in the next project to save time and effort actually. So this is where the boilerplate comes into the play. And in this case, the QA engineers like only have to rework some of the code to fit into the current project or current need, without making any major changes to the original structure or original configuration. And like the boilerplate makes it easy to rapidly develop automation testers that are compatible and easily maintained, and which means a lot where like verifying that the project software works efficiently in its intended environment or the server thing. And it supports like executing tests in parallel, which is like a big help in reducing the overall time execution. And the boilerplate also like provides support for text fixtures, making it easy to scale your test suites as you add them. And in this way, like the teams may communicate properly, and where would be no gap in like understanding by using the plain text or any like the plain language examples to illustrate any business rules. Uh, and after this, like the time saving using the boilerplate or the like the codeless approach is like use of this like can vary depending on different factors such as complexity of the project, familiarity of the tester with the technologies involved, and the availability of the sources and documentations. So in total, using boilerplate can save tester anywhere from several days to weeks that would otherwise be spent on setup, learning, development, troubleshooting, setting up the thing from scratch. So this is like how it would go. So this allows tester to focus like their efforts on writing effective tests, like ensuring like throughout the test coverage, and delivering the high quality software like in more efficient and effective way. And like the next thing is next point is how the boilerplate helps in a test automation. Okay, so like whenever test automation starts, we know we don't need to build it from scratch. So this is understood. If we have boilerplate, so we can set a baseline from that. And some automation frameworks issues like if we are not used, like could be encountered while automating the test cases. In this case, there will be a steep learning curve that will impact the significant time of investment and maintenance that keeps the test updated in a bug-free way. So, like how let's say to make things easier and cleaner, like let's have a look at some features of boilerplate that would be helpful for the QA engineers. So right, so here I will start some features, so where we can like get some a basic picture how the things will go in the boilerplate. So without the overhead of building and maintaining a testing solution from scratch, some automation framework issues like we can face. Obviously, this is like the automation world is not much mature in terms of when we start writing the test from scratch. But when we like would like to involve into that like template or boilerplate, the first thing is totally a hassle-free setup. Like one script prepares installation and configuration. It includes like drivers, plugins, path, and all required dependencies. It executes tests while building the local environment to make sure the basic checks and about like we can easily set test data management, like data is stored like separately and can be used such a parameterized form to manage different types of data type or test data dynamically to deal with the complex scenarios or the large scale project data. So these are all the benefits whenever we book a very good boilerplate and we are going to set up for any project. So right, so I put PyTest example under this umbrella. Like we have a PyTest Selenium framework boilerplate, and we are going to use that boilerplate for our web, mobile, and the API projects. So how it will work? Like we have, like you can see, we have a like different folder structure: API, mobile, visual, web. So we can segregate our test according to this folder to make it more maintainable and more easy to use. Like let's say if we are facing any failure or we have to update any test case, we can just go to that folder, select the feature, and pick the test case for fix. So like in this like framework boilerplate, we are like using the Java language for the feature files, where I mean those files are pretty understandable for everyone, technical and non-technical guy. So anyone like pick and start writing the test cases. And before all these feature file or step definition, we have like a ton of like step definition already defined. We can reuse those step definition and just while just passing the patterns and using using the correct locators. And the locator strategy itself like reboost early in the process, like use parameterization in creating stable and predictable elements and manage all the locators into separate JSON files to avoid high maintenance effort required to update and maintain locators as the application evolves. Because the locator itself is like a huge job in terms of maintenance, because we do face a very frequent changes at the application or UI level, and we can like pick the most accurate one or most generic locators on the, let's say, native or web apps, mobile apps for whenever we perform any assertions or actions. And about the test maintenance, I mean, using like the best common steps and function to write maintainable and reusable automation scripts to handle the outdated and the brittle situations. That will save you time and effort actually. And I mean, we can see a very good feature file with all the steps along with the parameters. And here we have like different workflow. So I use GitHub Actions for all these workflow. If we are going to run the pipeline on the iOS devices or Android devices. So under these workflow, like I'm preparing like a simulator because there is no dependency or any third party compatibility tool just like a browser stack or any other. So I'm preparing like different simulators before running the actual test, preparing the environment, then simulator, then running the thread, then sharing the other. This is how I'm going to write or configure my test case in this boilerplate. So, and the other thing is integration with the other tools like the TestRail, Slack, MS Team. So obviously we need a proper test results in terms of investigation, in terms of tracking, in terms of like analysis for the rest of the test cases. So I used like different types of integration to like make everyone well aware about the test results. And okay, so as I said, we have different like common steps defined for mobile, web, and API. We can reuse those, and we can try to like reuse those steps as much as possible without duplicating code. So this is like how we visualize and strategize the boilerplate or template. And obviously, the parallel support itself is very a good feature across all the test framework that where we can run the test concurrently and smoothly. Uh, and about like the rapid test automation testing is simple and easy to understand for writing tests. So this is like it follows a like painless test test case test case structure that focuses on like readability and manageability and ease of integration with the other tools, just like Flag, as we discussed in the last slide. And the picture sport itself is like huge benefit here. This helps in managing the test setups and tiered of like task, reducing redundancy and improving. So this all is included into the one codeless boilerplate. So we don't have to write the things from scratch. We don't have to integrate the third party from scratch. And in the last, like reporting and analysis, I mean, if I go to the next slide, yeah. So it generates like two types of reports, HTML and alert reporting, and send alert to the Slack and team channel for the better investigation. And this makes like it easier for tester to identify issue and analyze the test result effectively. And I mean, as we discussed, like it integrates seamlessly with the popular CI/CD pipeline, just like the GitHub Action. It supports better builds, allowing user to define multiple configuration for a single job and execute them in a parallel way. Jobs trigger specific events, schedule or manual trigger. So this is like again a plus thing. And like in this codeless approach, we can like easily distributing Selenium test across multiple nodes like Chrome, Firefox, Edge for the web mobile apps, and for local and no-local test execution. So in pipelines, as we discussed, like I defined emulator simulator for setting up Android iOS devices with APM server to run all the mobile tests or native applications for web and CI/CD pipeline. And I also added one more thing here, like Google, like auth0 authentication whenever like we need to verify some step from the Google API. For Gmail, it supports like Gmail messages, content verification, links. For instance, when the application generates some emails in between some flow or after previous test case execution, we can just verify those content in the Gmail stuff. And about the documentation, supporting like obviously we need a proper and handsome documentation that's supporting to help testers resolve issue more effectively. And testers can leverage a vast ecosystem of plugin to extend, like here I'm using PyTest, so PyTest functionality according to their specific testing needs. So a handsome README file for all the instructions also available in this. So here, like in this framework, I'm using the hybrid test automation model. So why choose hybrid test automation model? So this boilerplate provides the flexibility as a tester can draft a framework that meets the evolving needs of the project or the technology. Additionally, it is scalable, maintainable, reusable, and portable. I mean, the framework can be extended and modified to accommodate the new test cases in a very easy way. And it can be like debugged or updated with a minimal effort, like the test data, keywords, and the modules can be reused across different test cases, and it can run on the various browsers, devices, and the environment. And that's okay. So there is another thing, like when we pick the boilerplate or framework, and when we are going to install or set up that one, so what are the points we should consider before setting up the boilerplate? So, like, the first thing is, like, for example, let's consider some of the issues that can be arise from incorrect use of the boilerplate. Like, these include lack of modality and the code reuse. Two coding standards that can make like the test code difficult to maintain and scale. So, like as the application, we know, evolves, such issues can lead to increased the maintenance overhead and the technical depth, and issues like might also rise from ignoring performance consideration. For example, inefficient test data setup, or execution speed, or like reliability. Neglecting to implement comprehensive test coverage strategies, such as neglecting to the test edge cases or failing to parameterization for those tests effectively, can result in inadequate test coverage and reduce confidence in the application quality. So we have to consider all these things before setting up the project and using that boilerplate. So these are like very important things because whenever we write those boilerplate and we are going to implement into some project, and we have some code base from the previous project, so we have to consider all these things in a very efficient way before avoiding any confusion or issue. Because the other issues like comprising like inadequate handling of locator. This is another other example that can like result in fragile tests or flakiness in the test that breaks easily when the structure or layout of the web page is changed, or the native app component or element is changed. This increases maintenance overhead and decreases test stability itself. And integration with the external services such as BrowserStack, SourceLab for like, or many more for the cross-browser testing may introduce additional complexities. So configuration overhead, the potential points of failure, incorrect setup, or misconfiguration can lead to the test execution issue itself. So delays in the CI/CD pipeline, lack of optimization for test execution, like such as running tests sequentially instead of in a parallel, or not leveraging headless browser options, can lead to like longer test execution time and reduce the testing efficiency. So these are the all things we should keep in our mind. This is about the general mistakes or issues across all the testing platforms. So we have to consider this. So next thing is like what are the best practices for using this like template or boilerplate. So write clear and concise feature scenarios, because we are using the jargon language. or any other test runner we are using. So if we pick like the jargon syntax given when then to define the behavior of the system. So ensure that each features describe a single well-defined functionality. Then organizing scenarios into the meaningful group into the feature files would be the good. So because this is good, because if you have to make any change in the future and then you have like more than like 1,000 test cases and you have to update, so you should be aware. I have segregated all the test features and scenarios according to these files, this convention I'm using, and you can easily find out that relevant scenario. So use scenarios to describe specific test cases or user stories, keeping them focused and atomic as much as possible. Like, as the same approach applies to locator JSON files. So, so, uh, so for all these best practices will make your life easier. So just keep in mind these points and identify the common steps that can be reused across like the multiple scenarios and abstract them into the reusable step definition. Like this helps reduce redundancy and improve maintainability. And obviously the managing data efficiently, like ensuring that each scenario has necessary data input to execute successfully, and make those test scenario, test case atomic in terms of managing test data, and consider the following like the data tables or scenarios outlines to parameterize as much as possible those tests with the different inputs, and use all the sensitive data like user passwords or other through like into the secret file. Put all those sensitive stuff into the secret file. So these are like the basic things we can start from here, and start thinking to build like a boilerplate or like use the existing one. So I used the Python Selenium with PyTest runner, and made this like framework in a very versatile way. And yeah, I mean this is amazing. Okay, so yeah, so this is about the conclusion. So with all the like stuff discussed earlier, we can conclude that the boilerplate provides the flexibility. The first thing, as testers can draft a framework that meets the evolving needs of their projects. Additionally, it's scalable, maintainable, reusable, and portable. The framework can be extended and modified to accommodate the new test case in a very easy way, and it can be debugged or updated with the minimal effort. And overall, the boilerplate like simplicity, extensibility, reusability, parallel execution support, and comprehensive documentation in the end differentiate it from competing the solution, and making it a good choice actually for automated testing in the like in the ecosystem, QA ecosystem. So I put the link in the end for this boilerplate. I mean, we can choose any language, any tooling, any packages or libraries to accommodate these features in a one go. And then this is like just a plug and play solution. You don't worry about the learning curve, how I will use, how I will configure. So just one file, setup on Windows or Mac, and the rest all will be on the step definition or how you gonna be use it. And yeah, I mean like this is pretty much for my side. As we know, this is the recorded session, And if you have any questions, just let me know. And thank you so much for attending this wonderful discussion and session. And yeah, bye bye. See you. Thank you.